What is up, YouTube? Happy Friday. It's your boy G11 back at it again with another episode of the Homie Talk podcast. Now, if you haven't been able to tell by the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about BLM today. They've recently been in the news again for some more shenanigans. And have to make sure I muted that. I don't want this playing twice in my ears. But basically, BLM has been in the news again for some more financial shenanigans. I got an article, and also I have the actual tax documents to show you guys where this information came from. Yeah, I figured this would be better to do in live action format versus like an actual video format, just because it's the length of it. Like I started recording, and this thing turned into like a whole hour long situation. So without further ado, guys, let me get this article up. But also, I hope you guys are having a great start to your day. Let's put it that way. All right. Cool. Hold on, let's do it like this. There we go. So I got this article from the New York Post. Shout out to them for always coming through with the solid content. But check this out. BLM recorded $9 million deficit in 2022, but still paid millions to execs. And they have the tax documents linked in the article. So you guys, if you've watched the channel for an extended period of time, you already know how I feel about the situation, about this organization, right? I don't really care for it, and the reason is this. I personally think BLM, Global Foundation Network, whatever they call themselves now, personally, I think they are a scam built off of donations given on the backs of black people, backs of black people, backs of black people. They've literally, around pandemic time, pre-pandemic, that's one way they were the most active, and doing the riots and everything like that, promoting discord essentially, not really solving any issues or doing what it is that they say they're going to do, which is advance black people, make things a little better, affect policy and things like that. So let's dig into the article some more. Let's actually read through it here. Let me hide this. There we go. So check it out. Black Lives Matter ended last year with a nearly $9 million deficit while still paying out millions to organizers as well as relatives, right, of controversial co-founder Patrisse Cullors. So if you guys don't remember, Patrisse Cullors actually left the organization, I think a little over a year ago now. And she was under fire because of the financial part, right? She had just bought a mansion. Actually, she bought a couple of properties, but one of them was like in like a gated community in LA, I believe. She bought some properties in Atlanta, and people are wondering. They're like, "Hey, like, where are you getting this money to afford this amount of real estate?" I believe it was a few $1 million in real estate that she purchased, and she tried to say she used her book money. She has some type of book that she wrote that was she said it earned her some money. So I don't know who's buying her book or who's reading it, but I personally don't think her book has generated enough money to afford the amount of real estate that she purchased. So she came under fire and she retired out. She took the bag and ran. Tax documents posted online show that BLM's Global Network Foundation ended the financial year in the red to the tune of $8.5 million. So that means their organization ended the fiscal year with an $8.5 million deficit. Now, I know our government runs in deficit. I know certain businesses can operate in a deficit. I don't know any, I guess, major operation that can that can run like that and still exist. Okay, I would imagine they're quickly on the path to bankruptcy doing this. The following shows that the nonprofit recorded revenue of 8.5 million, roughly half of the more than 17 million it spent. That deficit is made even more extreme given that the previous year it actually increased its piggy bank, earning nearly 42 million. We're going to take a look at that after we get through it, right? The financial hit also left the group with $30 million in assets, so I would imagine that's real estate, equipment, stuff like that. Down nearly 11.75 million from where it started the financial year. Wow. Okay, so maybe they sold off some assets, some buildings to stay afloat. That means that it spent two-thirds of the 90 million it raised, which Colliers, who quit over earlier financial scandals, highlighted by the Post. Previously dismissed as white guilt money. white white guilt money. We gotta say it like that. Despite the crunch, millions of dollars were paid to companies with close ties to the group, including one owned by Shalomaya Bowers. I think I'm saying his name right. Shalomia, Shalomia. I don't know where these names come from. So he's the one who replaced Colliers after she quit. So he's on the board now, and I believe his one of his companies was paid out by Black Lives Matters. So he's not taking money directly in compensation, right? But he's getting paid, which to me sounds like a major conflict of interest. How can you serve on the board of a company that's paying your company? How does that work? Where's the ethics there? Nah, we don't want to talk about that. And independent auditors revealed the previous 2 years, also posted online, showed that Bauer's company was paid a staggering 1.69 million for management and consulting services. It's very vague, right? A sister organization, Black Lives Matter Grassroots, previously accused Bowers of blazing a path of irreparable harm to BLM and siphoning millions to his firm. I wonder where they got that idea. We're going to find out. Instead of using the donations for its intended purposes, Mr. Bowers diverted these donations to his own coffers, the group claimed in a lawsuit. Board member Danielle Edwards also named a firm, which was owned a firm, which was paid $1 million, just over $1 million for consulting services. Well, how much consulting y'all need for a nonprofit organization? How much consulting does it need? Look, the more I read through this, this seems like it was really just an opportunity to grab as much cash as possible and then dip and drain this bitch dry. Excuse my language. But that's what it's looking like. Like all the money is just going, and now it's in a deficit. It's gonna file for bankruptcy pretty soon here, and then just not exist, and then people are just gonna forget that it even happened, right? This is crazy. But yeah, this is where y'all donated your money. Black Lives Matter, BLM. Let's see. Colliers' graffiti artist brother Paul Colliers was the only current salaried employee last year, getting nearly 125,000, with 15,000 in other compensation for unspecified security. You need security for this thing too? But his security firm, Black Ties LLC, was paid way more handsomely, getting $756,330, similar to what it was paid the previous financial year. So you got the brother on the payroll, but he's double dipping because he's providing as a son. So he's a W-2 worker. Listen to how. Sorry about that. I guess we lost connection with the mic somehow. Okay, but basically he's double dipped. Um, the auditor's review noted a sibling of the former exec director owned a security and protection company, which was paid 1.6 million for security services. Keeping it all in the family, huh? The document shared by a New Mexico attorney, the New Mexico Attorney General's office, were first revealed by the Washington Free Beacon, which I'm actually surprised this is not getting way more coverage because of how crazy this is. We're talking like this is millions and millions of black dollars. Millions and millions of black dollars donated to a cause that people legitimately believed in, right? Because this came at a time where tensions were extremely high. Tensions are still high in America, right? But this was like at the height of it. This is where people were calling out the police for police reform. Some police were doing some dirty things, although the majority of police, I believe, are not doing this crazy stuff that we've seen. Majority of police are doing the right thing and not just going out and killing folk. But this organization came on the scene at a time where tensions were high, and it was an opportunity to take all of y'all's money. And that's exactly what they did. And they tricked it off on all the people within the organization. They didn't do shit. Not a fucking thing. Let's continue. While Patrisse Cullors was forced to resign due to charges of using BLM's funds for her personal use, it looks like she's still keeping it all in the family. Paul Kamenar, an attorney for the National Legal and Policy Center watchdog group, told the Free Beacon. BLM also agreed to pay $600,000 to an unidentified former board member's consulting firm. There's that damn consulting again. How much consulting y'all need? All this consulting ain't nothing getting done. This is it's just actually crazy. In connection with a contract dispute, the Free Beacon noted. Former managing director Kaylee Scales got the only other listed salary, nearly $115,000, for what was listed as an ongoing severance payment. So these folks, even the salaried workers, took a cut of the money that's way more than even, like, they're getting paid what CEOs would make at a Fortune 500 organization. This is a nonprofit. And then they have all these different, organizations or LLCs coming in and consulting, right? And getting egregious amounts of money for consulting. Come on, man. The 5 listed board members, including Bowers, Edwards, and current leader Cicely Gay, also reported getting no income from the group, which we're going to, again, when we look at the tax forms, you guys will see it. The Free Beacon noted how there was no mention of any payments to Cullors' baby daddy Damon Turner or his company Trap Heels, which was paid $969,000 in 2021. Oh, man. However, the outlet noted that charities are only required to disclose the names of their 5 highest compensated independent contractors. In its filings, BLM said it was working inside and outside of the system to heal the past, reimagine the present, and invest in the future of Black lives through policy change, investing in our communities, and commitment to arts. We could really even just take that statement and take out certain words and add. So if we reread it, we can put in its filings, BLM said it was working inside and outside of the system to heal their past, reimagine their present, and invest in their future of their lives through policy change, investing in their community, and a commitment to their arts. Because all this money that's going around, hardly any of it made it to the Black community or any projects. I'm telling you this because I haven't seen, there's no receipts to show that anything has actually been changed based on all this money that they've gotten. There's no major policy change that I've seen. I haven't seen any major community turnarounds. In fact, communities have gotten much worse as of late. You look at the major Democratic cities, and I'm not trying to make this political, but they just happen to be Democratic. You look at major Democratic cities, they are torn the fuck up. Murders are high. The governments are just they're crazy. These policymakers are out of their minds. And in some Republican cities too. I will say that some of these governments are bananas on the other side. But like they effectively, BLM has done absolutely nothing. They took all y'all's money and gave you nothing for it. Similarly, the way a certain someone said, you ain't Black if you don't vote for me, right? Got your vote, ain't do jack shit for you. Use your heads. I'm just saying. Okay. I think we're almost near the end of the article, y'all. And then we're going to the tax stuff. Okay. Gay, the activist group's current chair, said she was brought in to straighten out BLM's finances, even though she's bungled her own finances, having filed for bankruptcy in 2005, 2013, and 2016. Where did they do that at? Where in the world do you hire? Think about it. What company, like if you were just running your own company, actually, let's make it a little more personal, right? If you were a CEO of an organization or you're building a business from the ground up and you're looking to hire someone to run your books and straighten out your finances, are you going to hire someone whose only qualification is that they have personally filed for bankruptcy on three separate occasions, and you expect that individual to come in and straighten out the organization's finances? Okay. Meanwhile, Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation doled out more than 4 million to black activist groups in the financial year ending 2021. Some of which had criticized the group in the past for not helping the black community after they received millions in corporate cash. The group's 990s from 2021, obtained by the Post, show that it gave 400,000 to the Tamir Rice Foundation in Ohio. That group was set up by Samira Rice, the mother of Tamir Rice, a 12-year-old African American boy who was killed by a white policeman in 2014 while playing with a toy gun. And I think I remember that situation. Wow, 2014, that was so long ago. I don't think that one was like cut and dry. I think that one had like a gray area because I don't know if that toy gun looked like a toy gun, you know what I mean? Type situation. But I'm not going to get into the weeds with that one. Rice, who started her foundation in 2018 to conduct after school programs for at risk children, have been a vehement critic of Black Lives Matter and its co founder, Patrisse Cullors. Ah. She claimed that the group did not support mothers of black children who had been killed as a result of police violence and pointed the finger at Cullors. Cullors resigned from Black Lives Matter a month following a 2021 post expose of the group that showed she had gone on a $3.2 million real estate buying spree, snapping up properties in LA and on the outskirts of Atlanta. At the time, Rice told the Post, "I don't believe she's gone anywhere. It's all a facade. She's only saying that to get the heat off her right now." Cullors denied that she used the charity cash for her personal real estate purchases while complaining that the financial disclosures were triggering. Triggering, miss that word. We haven't seen that in a while. That was a buzzword for a good bit, right? In addition to the Tamir Rice Foundation, Black Lives Matter also doled out 1.2 million to the Love Not Blood campaign, a California-based group founded by Cephas Johnson, whose nephew Oscar Grant was killed by police in 2009. So I guess BLM did do a few donations, right? They gave a little bit out, but they gave it out to families who have had things happen in the past, not to any of the families who they built this, who they conjured this organization up off of, right? So the next thing that I want to show you guys, actually, I want to go to the BLM website because I want to show you where you can actually go and find these tax statements yourself. So whenever you're dealing with a legitimate nonprofit organization, they should be able to provide you with their 501c3 status via their tax filings. They're going to have something called a 990 form. This is where they disclose all the money that's come in for the year and all the money that's come out and what it went to. This is something that they have to file in order to maintain their nonprofit tax status. And let's be clear, nonprofits really are businesses. They just don't collect money the same way a normal business would, if that makes sense. Excuse me for a second. we're I would like $140,000 for doing nothing. Can I get that? Literally, we're looking at the tax statement. It says former managing director, $139,000. Patrisse Cullors, 40 hours a week. She's not being directly compensated because we know she was taking the money through her brother, basically. So they only had the former manager listed on that one. Now, in terms of the contractors, this is where we found out, who owned what. You got the Bowers Consulting Firm. So that's it's kind of funny. It's actually the guy who certified this. He owns this company, and he took $2 million in compensation for his firm. The fuck's up with that? Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a absolute complete joke, in my opinion. Thanks for stopping in the one. But outside of actually just saying it, I like to show you guys the evidence. I want to, and we're looking at right now. We're looking at their tax documents, and this is 2020 to 2021. It is just absolute madness that people donated to this. And that's to say, like, I'm not opposed to the ideology of making Black people's lives better. Like, I want Black people to do better. But this was just a fucking cash grab. And listen, I'm not a blackity black person. Okay? That's not me. But I do want Black people to do better as a whole. So then, reading further down, we got Trap Heels. I believe that's the one that's owned by Patrisse Cullors' brother. It's like the art company. $900,000. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. That is just an egregious amount of money. Dewey Square Group LLC. Notice these are all like LLCs, right? Communications, IT, and digital. What else? Sadler Strategic Media Inc. Media planning and placement, $600,000. And then you have this Resistance Labs tech support for $500,000. How much like consulting and tech support do you need for this organization? This is a lot of dough that's being pushed out. I'm just saying, for a nonprofit with a mission like that, that's a lot of dough. And for $2 million in consulting, what consulting was done? They've done absolutely zip. Make it make sense. Somebody. I agree with the one. BLM is a joke. It is a joke. This is madness, y'all. Outside of that, the only other thing that I would like to look at is Section O. It actually gives a little more detail about what he did, about what that company offers. So when you look at the tax statement, it's like the last parts are like additional information. So we're on Schedule F. We got a long way down. I'm just trying to skip us down to Schedule O, where it actually gives a more descriptive idea of like what Bowers' firm did for the organization. I have to say they did all the paperwork legitimate. They got it all in, but it still just seems really weird because none of it makes sense. Schedule L, Schedule O, okay, and it's gonna be, I think it's on the second part here. Investment, think tank, Form 990. Where's the description? We still Schedule O, okay. And it's like way down in there. There's a lot of information on these things. Okay, here we go. Form 990, Part 7, Section B, Line 1, Description of Services for Bowers Consulting Firm. So, the provided services that Mr. Bowers' firm provides are administrative support, general consulting strategy, design, communications, data, digital advocacy, training, message development, copywriting, executive coaching, and support, TV and digital production support, campaign and program management, project management, fundraising, development support, and staff management under the direction of the executive director, who's Mr. Bowers. How his company do all that? That's a lot for one firm. I'm just saying. Now he did all this consulting, but I ain't seen none of that. Not a fucking thing, man. That's wild. That is absolutely wild, y'all. And this is the old one. So this is the 2020 to 2021. This is where they collected the 79 million. Now, we saw how all the money went out on this one. I want to show you guys the 2021 2022. This is the one where we're in a deficit now. So, give me a second to load it up here. Yep, this is the one I want. All right, check this out. So this is their 2021 tax statement. This one was completed by Cecily Gay. This is the one who filed for bankruptcy 3 times. You can't make this up. Literally the lady who went bankrupt 3 times is the one who did this one. So let's see if they did this one right. Yep, tax exempt status 501c. So for this particular year, now this is like in the pandemic now, if you know, just for an idea of a timeline, right? They brought in a total gross receipts of 9.6 million. Vastly different from that 79.6 mil just the previous year. So we're looking at this one. The number of their volunteers increased, it doubled. So they got 82,000. And the previous year they had 49,000. Oh, it even has it there. Cool. So we can compare notes, right? Now, look at their investment income. How does that go negative? Minus 900,000. Did they just, I don't know how that even happens. Like, were they investing in the stock market and they're just reporting it as a loss, possibly? I'm thinking. That's the only way I can reasonably understand what that might be, that minus 900. Or maybe real estate depreciation, but real estate didn't depreciate. It went through the roof. So I don't think that's a real estate loss. I think it's a stock loss or something like that. Other revenue. So they got 137,000 in other revenue. Remember, that's like memberships, merch sales. That's outside of donations and grants, which the 9 million. So the majority of this, so 9,268,000 of that 9.6 came from donations and grants. They got 137,000 in other revenue. And then here's the crazy part. Okay, so total revenue is 8.4 million because you have to subtract that loss. That 9, so essentially bring like taxable income down. Then they get professional fundraising. We're looking at expenses now. We're looking at expenses. They donated, they granted and paid 4.5 mil, 476,000 in salaries. So how did that go up? We're at 245 the previous year. Now it went up to 476,000 despite having a $9 million loss. Okay. Spent 400,000, so they spent 10,000 more on fundraising the following year. Total amount spent on fundraising was about 485,000, which was down. That's down from the previous year. They spent almost $1 million the previous year. 11 million. Oh, whoa. We got a math problem here. Other expenses, 11.6 million. So this brings their total expense to $17 million. I don't know about y'all, but that's bad math. So they're negative 8 million on expense, on revenue. They are in the red. That is like they didn't earn anything. Like, as a business, that would be very, very, very discouraging. Unless like you're a big, you're gonna expect ebbs and flows of losses and gains, right? But for a nonprofit to be in the negative $8 million when they just the previous year had a positive of 42, almost 42 million. How does that work? I'll tell you how, because they're draining all the money out. I know this is probably boring to a lot of you guys, but this is important that you look at it and understand what it is so you can make a more informed decisions and not fall for the same shit when it happens again. Because inevitably, I think Black Lives Matter is going to come around again. I just want to dig in a little bit more and then we'll wrap this up. I know this, hang in there. Total assets decreased, looks like by about 10, 11 million, from 43 million to 33 million. Total liabilities increased by like 2 million. How is that possible? How did the liabilities go up? Net assets came out to 30 million. So you did your assets minus your liabilities. That's how you get your net. Really, really weird. Maybe they sold off some houses or some properties to just stay afloat since they had a negative revenue. That's insane. Here's the bougie programs again. They're still spending an egregious amount of monies on these programs that none of us have ever heard of. Total expenses were 11 million, which I think is what they had. Yeah, up here to 11,649,000. Or these are a separate expense. Let's scroll down to who got paid what. Y'all see how crazy this shit is? So, okay, now we got a couple more individuals on the compensation chart. So we have Cicely, we got Shalamaya, Zane. Where did they find these people? And Daniel Edwards and Minyan Moore. So all these people are on the board. None of them are getting paid directly. Then we got Paul Collier. So now he's on there as the head of security, working 50 hours a week. And he's claiming $124,000 in compensation as a W-2 or 1099. And then 15,000 in other compensation. So they just, I don't even know what would be considered other, maybe like a bonus or a donation. I need someone who's an accountant to take a look at this and explain that part to me. There's that Kaylee Scales again, former managing director, getting another 100,000 a year late, another year later. Like, come on, man. Is this just an ongoing severance package that this person gets? Like, what did they do for this organization that was so good, that it will warrant them to continue receiving a severance package years later after they left? That's like over $200,000 that they've collected in this like severance package as a former member of this organization. I don't know where they do that at. So we got a total of 239, 327 in direct compensation plus that 15,000 and other. That's about 249, 250, over 250. And then here we go. These are the contractors that involve New Impact Partners. There's that damn consulting. It's a different name, and they're based out of, where was the other one from? Hold on, I gotta look now. Oh, I gotta look at the other one. The damn consultant. The other one was based in California, Bowers. So he was the head of that company. Now you have New Impact Partners Consulting Services for almost $1 million. You have Black Ties LLC. I think that's the brothers company again. Security Services, 756. What was it called before? Trap Heels. That's the art. Now it's security. Like $700,000 on security though? What the fuck are they protecting? Obviously, it's not the money because they're just spending it egregiously. Wow. We Are Rally Inc. Communications, 693,000. People's Television Inc., based out of New York, 557,000. And Dewey Square Group, Communications, IT, and Digital, 534,000. I don't know what to tell y'all. This is crazy. Look at that. This is absolutely insane. The amount of money that they're paying out for this stuff, and that's just in 1 year, with no type of impact or nothing to show for all this alleged work that they're doing, right? That's crazy. Yeah, you guys can go through and look at the rest. I just felt we had to have a conversation about this because It was in the news cycle. It did come out in the New York Post. And like I said, personally, I just look at it like it was a scam. It was a quick cash grab. They collected money off the deaths of black people. They didn't actually make y'all's lives better. They just took your money and said, fuck you. I'm gonna go buy a house in the white neighborhood. I'm gonna go buy a house in the white neighborhood away from you niggas. We just looked at the numbers. As Anton Daniels always said, I follow his channel. Follow the money. Follow the money and you'll know what the fuck is actually going on out there. Again, that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. This one, I almost did go for about an hour on this one. That's pretty good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. After seeing that, did that change your opinion if you're on the other side of it? Did you always think they were a scam? Let me know down below. I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, peace.